Okay, so this is the insides of my current case. I am about to dismantle it. We're going to start with the video card, and I've already undone the cables and removed a couple of the thumb screws here. We're going to pull it out. This is what the back looks like. So one of my complaints, let me try it in frame here. One of my complaints with this case is that, first of all, sorry about all of the poor wiring here, or cable management. This was kind of slapdash. Is that there's just not a lot of space for the cables, between the cables and this drive cage right here. And it really forces you to bend these much more drastically than I think you might feel comfortable doing. Unfortunately, this drive cage here is non-removable, so hopefully I can deal with that with the new power supply. Okay, so I think we might have a better look here. So hopefully this top shot is getting this, but so this drive cage, this is meant for 3.5 hard drives, mechanicals, and unfortunately you can't remove it, and it's not skeletalized, so there is a wall here and you cannot get wires through here, unfortunately. So you have to bend your power cables around it and then route it accordingly. But this can be kind of a pain. I mean, there is a little bit of a pass-through here, but this really doesn't help much. You'd have to bend your cable downward first and then out of this. I don't know if that is really going to do much for you. Oh well. Otherwise, I still really like this case, but that is a little bit of a cabling challenge. So I do plan on moving these contents to another case and then giving that build to a family member. I'm thinking I'm going to leave the CPU cooler on and just remove the radiator, or unmount the radiator from the top. Now what's nice about this case, one of the many nice things, is that it has a removable dust filter up top. It's magnetic, so there we are, and you can then unscrew the radiator from up here, so that's very convenient. Just move this to the side. Alright, so the radiator is unmounted. It's time to lift the motherboard out. There we go. Lovely. Left one cable in the back. There we go. Okay. Awesome. So, one of the things that disappointed me as well about this Riotoro case is that they routed the front panel connectors here through the front rather than maybe, you know, behind this back middle panel, so that these cables weren't exposed in the middle of your case. Maybe I can do something about that. I'm going to see, but I don't have high hopes. Okay, so it looks like everything is out. Everything looks good. Wish I had some compressed air somewhere, but this microfiber rag will have to do. Let me just pop out this I/O plate, I/O shield. So if I remember correctly, I just have to rip this out, right? There you go. God, that is always a horrible sound, a horrible feeling to just rip a front panel off like that. Okay, so we see unfortunately, there isn't really anywhere to route this. It's only that one hole. So that sucks. So what I'm doing, let me give you a better angle, get this out of the shadows, hopefully, is it used to go through this grommet. These front panel cables used to go through this front grommet, or rather this grommet, but it really kept the wires, you know, it was really obtrusive and it kind of broke up the lines within the case. And if I route the cables through this opening here, that doesn't have a rubber grommet, unfortunately, you know, does it look cleaner? I think it does. So for now, this is what I'm going to stick with. Okay, so I don't think I need to do anything else here on the front panel. Let's just get you closed up. If I can get this lined up again. Okay. So what I want to do next is mount the fans. Riotoro was kind enough to give me 2 more fans that could be mounted up here, and I think I'm going to do that. They are RGB, and I think it'll light up the case nicely. So one of these have two cables. One is for power and one is for controlling the RGB lighting. You can see it's got the, I guess you can't really see where the RGBs are, but anyway, it's got some clear piping along the sides, and because this is white, it really helps it diffuse the RGB lighting when the effect is on. You'll see it. It's actually pretty dramatic. Well, once again, before I move on to this last fan here, so this bundle, which I think is available on the Riotoro website, comes with 3 fans, and what's nice is that it also comes with its own fan controller. You can hook up the 3 fans with LEDs, and this controls both the LEDs and the fans. Now, if you don't have a Riotoro case, which has fan controls built into the front panel, it does come with its own, hopefully this is, you can see this through the, through the plastic, but basically it comes with its own little control box, or like, I want to call this a control box too, but basically this lets you control the fan speed. Does it have speed? No. Okay. Sorry, it's been a long day. So you can control the color, you can control the mode, whether or not it's going to be blinking or breathing or pulsating, that kind of thing, and then the brightness as well. So I think that's pretty cool. And this is magnetic, so it does stick to the side of your case, and I can show you again on the back. But I just think that's a nice touch for people who don't own Riotoro cases. Okay, case is coming along. I think it's going to take a quick break. Be right back. Okay, so we are about to install the Castle 240EX CPU cooler. And before we do that, I do want to point out that it does have the thermal compound pre-applied, as I showed earlier, but this is something I want to remove and apply my own. So what I'm going to do is use the Arc2Clean Thermal Material Remover and the Arc2Clean Thermal Surface Purifier to remove the thermal compound. I've never used these before, so I'm hoping they do the trick. And let's go and try it out, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, and I'm back. And wow, that did not take long at all. Got all that thermal compound removed, and it looks really shiny, very clean, minus some of the dust from the napkin. But yeah, I can't wait to get my own thermal compound on there. Okay, so I'm about to install the CPU cooler and have the radiator. I want the radiator mounted against the front panel here, and as you can see, it already has some fans installed on the other side of this front panel. So I'm not going to install the fans that come with the radiator. Now these fans are a little wider than what the radiator accommodates. I think the radiator accommodates 120 millimeter fans. So I'm hoping that there won't be too much air turbulence when these larger fans start blowing against the radiator, because obviously the air isn't going to pass through cleanly. Now, the one issue I'm going to face, and I didn't really anticipate, is that I'm going to have to mount the radiator from the other side, meaning I need to open up the front panel, take this off, and put the screws in on the other side so that I can get the radiator mounted. So I'm going to have to take off these fans, take out the front panel, unroute these cables over here. So it's going to be a little bit of a to-do, but hopefully it'll be worth it. Okay, so slight change of plans. My original idea was to keep the stock Riotoro fans that came with the case that were mounted here on the front. Unfortunately, given how the radiator is mounted on the other side and how it kind of blocks some of the mounting holes for the front fans, it just wasn't going to work. I couldn't reinstall the Riotoro stock fans. So I am using the Gamerstorm fans, and I've mounted it on the other side, and it's going to blow cool air through the front of the case, through the radiator, to be exhausted through the top, through these three fans here. So we're going to keep going. I just need to mount the CPU cooler, the heatsink, onto the CPU, and I'm building the back brace, back plate, I guess that's what this would be called, and I'm going to mount it onto the back of the motherboard. So this is what it looks like so far. All right, well, I'm going to try mounting it like this and see how it goes. Oh. Okay, well, took a lot of work, and there were some missteps, but it looks like I'm all set. I think these are as tight as I'm gonna get them. Take a screwdriver to them, do a couple more turns, but this might be good enough. I'm going to leave this on until the build is done, but this is what it looks like installed.